what I had really liked about this KBU lineup before this last pick was that your cores at that stage were a Storm Spirits and a Timbersaw, right? Your supports were, sure, I mean, one big cooldown on the Bane, right, being Fiend's Grip, but Tusk is like basically always ready to fight, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me, Faceless Void, even if you go for like this earlier activation tempo, he is still very dependent on that Chronosphere. And Felt can kind of just poke and prod around it. You don't even do that much damage in Chrono. It seems a little bit dangerous. And I think Felt could do very well to kind of bait out an ulti or look to get an ulti out and then immediately just push objectives. And I don't know what KBU does then, because they'd be fighting 4v5.
Yeah, and then this is an offline Weaver. Maybe they've even promoted him because of the Void pick, and they're going to Russian Aghanims here. Excellent versus Chrono.
Annihilate, tossed back by Afro. Ice Shards here are pretty decent. They even dodged a little bit of damage out from the stun. Fairy Fire committed, but Pingu is the one to pick up the first blood there. As they cannot save the Storm Spirit.
Exactly. So we have Solji on that safe lane. Templar Assassin, the Lesh going mid up versus a Storm Spirit. That is a neat lane for both of them. I think I've seen Leshrac struggle on the early levels with this one previously, but I do think that the little bit of extra right-click damage that you have now has solved a lot of that for the Leshrac.
Borko's also taking Nightmare level 1, so his trades early are not going to be that good. In fact, some would say bad, as Afro is looking for a toss. Might be able to find him there. Zor with a little bit more damage. Has Sakuchi level 1. He's going to get Realm to come back now. Has not committed any skill points. And will continue not to do that. As of course the creeps don't aggro behind the tower until 5 minutes. So they're not going to look to fight there.
All things together though, great start from Felt. Getting early regen out on the bottom lane, getting the first blood for... Was it even their mid laner?
No, it went to the Jakiro.
Pingu took it.
Yeah, but, you know, not bad anyway. Especially because it's a position for Jakiro. Well, no, it's just Pingu laning here, never mind.
Oh, it's Pingu. But, you know, he can buy Solji an extra self.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Yeah, that he can. A little bit more regen. Hey, early boots in this lane ain't bad whatsoever. Not like it's going to save you from Ice Shards here, but eventually it's going to allow you to run a little bit faster from Tag Team as the tree gets cut, so Sunlight's not going anywhere there.
Yeah, I do think that even with boots though, we're going to see Pingu drop a couple of times.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised. But hey, I mean, perhaps this is still a pretty good Liquid Fire game in that respect, right? Just turn if they tag team, at least make sure that they're going to be minimizing their damage output on that. Sunlight still taking a fair amount of damage here. The 6 stacks of reactive armor now helping greatly though. All that regen and of course even the bonus armor going a long way towards the Templar Assassin's physical output.
I kind of have to giggle at how both teams were so distracted by fighting each other that everybody forgot that there were creep waves meeting just in the lane.
Toss mid.
The Warden is the first one to...
Just runs in. The toss back is perfect
it's
here.
A fast rotation.
Annihilate is going to die. Steel Borko does TP on in, but can't save him with the Nightmare. It's a second death here already for Annihilate.
Dang, I'm glad you got your eyes on the map because that is an extremely fast rotation from Aframush. We were talking about Tusk rotating, but this Tiny has beaten him at his own game already.
Level 1 toss. Still proving that Tiny's got a lot of room in the game here as position 4, as Zor is going to be slow to a crawl, and he's taking a bit of damage there. Time dilation, of course, the value point, so that Realm can actually harass in the lane. Does actually put Geminate attack on cooldown even longer.
Yep. Very, very good against the Weaver, who really relies on his Sakuchi to give him both last hits and harass in that lane as well, without actually getting smacked down for it.
Speaking of getting smacked down, Sunlight got the second point in the reactive armor, and with the stick, keeps himself topped up. And already showing symptoms of why this lane is
toss
tricky.
Back mid.
Yeah, there it is. Another toss from Afro, even at level 1. He's got the second point, but no mana here for the Avalanche. Now he does. I believe he's being given a bottle set by Shinra, and that will allow him to pick up the kill here. A third onto Annihilate. They are just really focusing on shutting down the Storm's game.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yep, and it's working. Like, that means that Zor has a solo lane bottom, and he is at the top of the last hit chart right now as well. So this is wins in both lanes with a hero being absent, basically.
That's what was I was even going to say. That's what surprised me, and what even surprises me more is that the KVU have got a ward for this in the mid lane. It's not perhaps the best ward to scout the Tiny, but this ward, this rotation ward that has been placed at minute 0 is the perfect one to scout this, kind of over on this cliff.
The Tiny has been sitting here. This was his route in.
Trying to live. There's a meld at the ready, which will hit him, but he is very tanky. Ooh, dying to creeps. He's going to be dying to creeps there. What do these guys do? Do they break? They do.
Yes, they do. A little bit of a... Well, I think that's a win for him, honestly.
Yeah, actually.
Not dying there again. He's going to have a wave guarded by the Warden once he comes back. But yeah, he's not having good enough of a lane that the Warden can now go out and say like, all right, fine, this Lash, we can still kill him. You know, Disco Pony, not that tanky. You share some of the damage over. He doesn't even have levels in the Diabolic Edict, actually. Shinra really just going in for the kill here and not looking at any of the tower damage after yet.
Yeah, in fact, this is something I wanted to talk to you about because I've seen this so much on the few Lesh games we have been seeing. It's people just really focused on dominating the lane. It seems like the lane domination Lesh in the mid lane is back. And the reason that this surprises me is because there's so much regen in the lane, in mid lane now especially, that, you know, it's... I don't know. Is this still worth it? Like, to go for this much of a lane domination when the regen meta is so rich, when Storm and many other mid laners in the meta can just, you know, nuke the wave and then go back to jungle and recover just as quickly?
Yeah, I mean, Storm does need levels to do that, right? And with Lesh now also having right-click to throw into the mix on the early levels, I can see why you say, right, fine, that is enough regen to leverage my stupidly short cooldown on the Lightning Storm, which is only 4 seconds, and then go to town with that. And I want to see them try to regen that back up, especially when the wave is constantly shoved into them. How are you going to walk to your runes, right?
That's true. Right now, at least Annihilate only going to get one of these runes at best. And if he does get the full wave, which hopefully he does get at least this melee, he's still a full level behind Shinra. It looks like 2 right now, but we'll call it just a full level. And that is pain for a Storm Spirit. He'd like to be rotating around the map. He's a little bit of this early momentum. This offlane is going to be having a lot to do with the tempo of play, dictating the pace of play here for the first 15 minutes out from KBU between the Timber and the Tusk. But even Tusk at this stage has not felt comfortable enough to rotate mid lane. Not felt comfortable leaving Timber, or maybe not confident they could get a kill, whatever the reason being. They have not yet looked to rotate the Tusk. So perhaps that's the next move KBU can look to make to kind of stabilize this mid lane.
Yeah, I wonder if it isn't too risky at this point with Annihilate being like a full level behind. That's also a lot of damage missing on any kill attempt.
Toss into the Avalanche, finds the 2. Time walks back, time dilation slow, onto 2 here as Realm just looking for a bash, he's taking the sampler build 1-1-1. But there's going to be no further action here down bottom. And once again, Afro, he's rotating towards mid.
So is the Warden this time around.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, and again, they've seen him all 2 times, right? They've seen him, which is why I was surprised that they actually still ended up getting these kills. Shinra's up to level 6 already. Has taken that point in the Pulse Nova. Still no points in Edict, as he's going to give lots of damage here to Warden, who might just be dead. He's going to need a snowball, I think. Oh, Shinra says, oh, we're going this way, right?
Radiant's middle tower is under
And
attack.
down he goes.
You merge with the impurity.
Be a kill for him. Wagon getting in a couple of free tower shots. And there's even still a water rune here for Shinra. Power rune spawning in 20 seconds. Storm not really in a position to contest. He's going home, so it's going to be the first power rune uncontested towards Felt. And Shinra even tanking for his wagon. Kips, this is starting to get really bad.
Yeah. They're bringing in the Warden again, but Pingu is here. You're not going to get out alive.
Shinra, even not at 8th HP, confident in fighting this, and for good reason. Afro's still mid. Power Rune spawns bottom. At least Steel Borko is going to prevent the free refill. And Shinra ought to be forced back. Annihilate still level 4. still limited in what he can do, but he does at least cancel the salve. Can't zip and zap, however, for a whole another wave of experience at least. Probably still 2.
And well, you don't need any levels in the Edict if you're just gonna tank for your catapult and kill anyone who dares tell you otherwise.
It's 2/3 of the HP of that tier 1 missing with 1 catapult, so no points in Edict, like you're saying. They may look to set up here now onto the Weaver, but approaching is Afro. In fact, he's going to look to turn back onto Borgo. No haste rune here, no boots, no move speed. Is going to be an easy kill, as Zor even used the time lapse there to get back to the HP. Fearing perhaps a couple lucky bashes just like that out from Realm. Didn't want to leave it to risk.
But even so, this Weaver has a fairly free time here on bottom. Normally, you'd be worried here that if you go dive the tower for, say, this Faceless Void kill, you're going to get caught by a Storm rotation, who'd really rather like to TP in on a dive so he doesn't have to jump as far, right? But Annihilate is just about hitting level 6, and he's going to be spending all his mana every single time just to jungle up.
I mean, and he's even been sharing XP with Afro here, who is going to be scouted by that ward. KBU very well aware that there was going to be an aggressive rotating Tiny or Jakiro, or perhaps even a Lesh, who's now taking his first point in the Edict at level 7, and will use this to push the mid tier 1 tower completely uncontested. 7-0 right now. Felt absolutely dominating.
Wild. And yeah, Aframush was like, hey, you left the creep in the camp. Must have seen me coming, huh?
Warden.
So the ward has also been dewarded.
Dead. Dewarded, like you called.
Dewardened, indeed.
Warden. Annihilate, level 6 at least, with boots and the gloves of haste, and even having the need to go for the infused range drops. He is not having a great time, but he is still the most farmed on his team, at least in terms of last hits. When it comes down to CS, it's still at least the Faceless Void leading. His lane not going too poorly, but they have caught Borko here going for the D ward. Shinra will rotate over for that to punish him. Top lane though, the rotation.
The Solji on top.
Annihilate going for Solji, as they will at least dust him up. Plenty of damage here. There is refraction at the ready, and the Sig charges back to the strength treads, but Solji, oh, still alive? No! Annihilate really having to commit. He's completely out of mana.
Look at that damage.
But there's only a TP ready for Zor, and he's actually not going to commit it, Kips. Okay. No one else had TP.
That's kind of wild.
I thought for sure that was going to be a TP from the Weaver.
Yeah. Like, I understand that the Lesh is like, I'm a half mana, I don't need to go there, but it's at the very least another kill on Annihilate, just ready to get mopped up.
Make it 4, but now that's power charts for Annihilate, who's a bit tankier. Of course, a little bit more mana to work with as he goes for a Null Talisman. Soldier's just right back in this top lane as well.
Yeah, so it tastes like a strategic decision then. It's like, if we bring another core to this lane now, then Soldier's going to have to move, and we don't actually want him to move. We're farming all 3 lanes as much as we want right now.
As there's going to be the Avatos into the level 1 Ice Path, but it's a level 3 Dual Breath, which is going to be more than enough damage. However, Nightmare to set up for the return kills now onto Pingu, as Realm has now finally called the rotation on over. Macropyre, I think, is genuinely just to nuke the wave, as well as to do any damage to Realm if he wants to farm in that Macropyre, which he decides hurts a little bit too much. He'll refrain from doing that, but is the rotation forced. Frees up Shinra to push bottom along with Zor, and perhaps even with that Macropyre nuking the wave, Felt can still look top to continue defending that tier 1 Kips.
Yeah, they will. Aframush would really like to get a little bit more EXP there, and you have Jakiro is one of the best supports in the game at defending towers, or indeed just occupying contested lanes.
Realm has Chrono. He walks into level 1 Ice Path, not too scared of that. They will get the Avalanche kill onto Borko, which means that this tag team's going to go unutilized by the Warden. Realm just getting kited right now, and now there are many heroes chasing after him. Only level 2 here in the Time Walk, as they've now nuked through the Warden. The Tusk has been clubbed there by the Templar Assassin. Bottom has been taken as well by Shinra, as he looks perhaps for a kill onto Sunlight, but without a Yules to set up, it's a little difficult. Oh, never mind. Not that difficult, as he does catch him. Shinra, though, limited by the mana. Might still have enough damage here for MMR Tourist? No, okay, he will live. But just barely.
And there's another bottle charge here.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Sunlight knows his limits here on the Timber Saw. Respecting the...
Oh, still Borko.
He doesn't have level 6, but he might not need it. Just a nightmare setup here. Might happen just with right clicks here, to be honest. Well, it's the creep wave to get the kill, actually.
Cheeky. And I Annihilate gets the mid tower while we're all watching bot. These are
the wagon.
Some big wins for KBU here, actually.
That's a pretty big turn. Yeah, I guess that's going to be one major downside towards having a Weaver off lane, right? He's not really the kind of hero you can send mid lane to really slow something like this from happening. So they make an aggressive play. That's going to be a Fiend's Grip into another zip. Annihilate really making a big recovery here with this double damage rune. Almost catching up here to enemy cores, but at least he's equalized with his own.
Yep, his support's really making these rotations now that the lanes have been sort of freed up. And Felt have not yet really adjusted from farming their 3 cores in 3 different places mode. So getting caught off guard first with Shinra playing around on bottom like nobody's going to come to him, and then afterwards the TA completely on her own in that mid lane where there's no tower anymore. It's not a disaster, but it is a little bit sloppy.
Yeah, especially after such a clean early game from Feltz, right?
Yeah.
It does kind of feel
I mean,
like
it's
a change of pace for
one
them.
usually follows from the other. It's like, fine, we've bought ourselves the opportunity to get, you know, space to make mistakes. So, you know, if I do it wrong now, what gives?
Realm is nearby, has Chrono Sphere. Again, nothing really to use it with, and in fact, it's going to be turned on now, setting up all the damage, chaining the stuns perfectly. That is going to be a kill. That's still a level 1 dual breath, by the way, for the Jakiro. I don't think I've ever seen a max dual breath Jakiro for some time, especially with the changes now onto the ice path. As going for more is Afro. He has now managed to find the Timbersaw, tossed back into, again, the Split Earth. That's another kill.
These tossbacks have been immaculate.
They have. That's a great word to use. Immaculate. They've looked so good, haven't they?
Crisp. We haven't seen this in a while because, of course, the tossback range got nerfed significantly after people really started playing that tiny support, but Aframush has been playing like it's, I don't know, 2000?
2000. He's playing Dota2. He loads into the game and types /AP so he can pick his heroes. No matter the side. It's really working out well for him here this game. He's made it look very strong. And now I believe at level 9 takes the first point to grow for a little bit of armor. Regen rune picked up. He'll take that for the mana. Thank you very much.
He's nearly got his blink.
Hey.
Absolute menace.
He's like, Shinra, can I have this creep so I can have blink? And Shinra says, absolutely not.
Core is bad.
Let him have the wave. He deserves it. Tiny can have a little bit of a wave as a snack.
As a treat.
As a treat. But now he's got Blink Dagger coming, and this game has been definitely a treat for Afro. Blink Dagger on the way as KBU. They are making their own smoke movements now as they smoke out of the jungle and have got their sights set here for this tier 1 top lane where Pingu still currently keeping this thing alive. Looks like they have vision, and they have now the jump onto Shinra. They look to get the kill onto him, and they will nuke through him 100-0 flat. Annihilate, not catching it with anything, but there's going to be the blink reveal and a big one with the Orchid on the Weaver. No escape for Annihilate. Good ice shards here, at least hold back this tidal wave that is felt here as they look to continue fighting. Afro with another blink here at the ready, and with half duration here still remaining on that Orchid, they will make the jump in. There's at least a little bit of damage to Chrono, but not enough for Zor, who in fact is just going to Orchid. He doesn't even, he uses the time blasted Orchid. No damage into Chrono. Realm gets tipped immediately by Solji. There's going to be the kill now on the ward, and only Sunlight remains. As you'd expect from a Timbersaw this early, but they are looking to at least nuke him down. They're not going to find him here. And, well, that's a long TP, but he will make it out. And that's kind of, that was our concerns with Chrono in a nutshell, wasn't it?
Yeah, that definitely was a great demonstration. And it's Sunlight TPs to the bottom lane where everybody has immediately gone to try and catch off Shinra, but he is not about to get a second dance party going in this bot lane. He is out of there. So yeah, now they've all abandoned top. Triangle's gonna go straight away of the TA, and they could move into Roshan here if they wanted to over on Felt.
Man, that
Deso is up and ready.
That's brutal. Weaver, I mean, they just to kind of really drive home the point of how little damage that they have in Chronosphere, Zor Orchids before he even bothers to time lapse because he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be fine. Like he's not afraid of it. Speaking of Orchid, there's another one. The TA trap slow here, doing no damage to Faceless Void with the Vessel debuff here. He's gonna tick down, but he ought to be okay. He's gonna be a little close, but he'll be.
Yeah. I mean, he'll be fine in the sense that he's alive, but he will not get to play the game for a long time. So like he's. I was about to say he had a Manta style queued up. Don't do that, bro. Just go for the BKB. It does the same thing in like when you're thinking about the Orchid.
But sadly, it's gonna be no damage or no further damage into Chronosphere. Just Maelstrom. He didn't go full Mask of Madness Maelstrom for early farming or early I bash you in Chronosphere kind of play style. And well, speaking of objectives, felt they're gonna do another one rather quickly, especially with the Deedurant up on Solji. They will get through that first Rosh, and now Aegis here for him. Felt for the first time, it feels like in the series, with like now a rather decisive lead in the game, right? Obviously, they had a decisive lead in the last game when they were ending it, but until then, it was kind of mostly KBU's game to play, even though they were the ones with the Huskar. I'm curious to see, are they going to go high ground with this? There's
I think so.
No chrono for 10 seconds, so it's a little bit of a tight cooldown here.
Just remember what we said about the push, right? Just drive it home. There's the only AoE defense that they have in this choke point is Faceless Void. He does not want to join. Just ring the bell, try and see how many you can get home, and you know, if they don't bring enough, then you just push your base right now.
Right now.
I'm loving this.
Enough seems to be Faceless Void, and now he is finally teleporting back. Storm's going to make the jump in, looking to set things up with the blink back from... Oh, the blink forward? Oh, they found him! They found the Faceless Void in the trees, and they've shut him down. He's got buyback, and he's going to immediately be back in, but he's going to run. So there's going to be now at least a really solid kill on the first life. There's a Chronosphere at the ready here. It's going to be erected now, and they've got at least a Jakira with this as well. Solji in a bit of trouble. It has gotten the refraction up. They're going to be able to tick through his charges with ease and take down the TA a second time.
Good hold, but that buyback smarts, man.
Bad wasting no time on that. I mean, a really good a scouting play there by Felt, just kind of having the confidence to know where this Faceless Void's going to want to be approaching from, and immediately punishing that. But a buyback forced, and now again, no Cronus here for 2 minutes, as they are making a jump here onto Shinra. This is a bigger one. It's going to be the mid laner now taking a dive.
He elited. As much as like they scouted that out correctly, the TA going in there, I think all you need to do really is make sure that the Void is too low that he doesn't feel comfortable fighting, as opposed to killing him off immediately, because she did ruin her own positioning completely there. Ultimately leads to them losing the fight, but it's hard to say. These calls to go high ground before 20 minutes are always risky.
Yeah, that's what I was surprised by, right? That was the inflection in my voice kind of referring to that. Usually when teams do that, it's either a game-winning move or it doesn't go well. Annihilate, a little bit of a zip. Isn't it going to get him to safety now? They have caught as well Sunlight here with the max life pass on, and Soldier's going to chop through him with the meld as the Warden on the run. Swarm Beetle here taking him down as well as that Vessel. It's going to be a kill for Zor, his second in this engagement, and they're looking for another. Borko completely caught off, is going to be sliced through like cheese.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Okay, 4 dead just like that, so Felt's right back to it as they will begin sieging the mid-tier 2.
Yeah, excellent understanding of the gameplay versus the Faceless Void here. They're not rattled whatsoever by the fact that Realm got one decent chrono off there. Just like, alright, fine, now you don't have it. We take more.
Bloodstone finally picked up on Lush. This is an item I thought was going to bring the Lush back into the meta almost single-handedly, and seemingly in this game has. Of course, it's new, no longer comes with charges.
Yeah, it's weird that you don't get any mana regen out of it anymore at all.
Hold on. No way, right? There's no way Zor solo kills. No way, right? Okay, that was a lot closer than I think Realm was hoping for it to be. He's got another time walk in 2 seconds, but Shinra looking to close the door, and with Afro making the jump in, it's going to be a kill onto the safe laner with the dieback penalty applied here.
Yikes. And that's going to be your last outer tower going down. Felt really tightening the noose.
Roshan not going to be up for another 3 minutes, so they've got no concerns with that. They've got no concerns to stop the Walrus pushing mid lane. Right now, the name of the game is just simply objectives, and as you stay, continuing to apply this pressure. That being said, there is a smoke play now from Felt, so they will look to actually shut down these heroes. They've got a ward in the triangle, and they see a Sunlight farming. They don't want him to see any more Sunlight, so they will be connecting stun after stun. Magic damage amped by the E-Blade, or just a Ghost Scepter? Just a Ghost Scepter. Which, of course, is not going to help him here versus the damage output of Alesh.
Unfortunately not. I mean, it's a great combination, of course, right? TA Lash.
Yeah, nice mixed damage.
Any item that saves you from one will make you vulnerable to the other.
This is why casters like mixed damage.
Mm-mm.
It's very nice. Very satisfying when it actually works out like this. As it's still neutral time, I guess. It's that 5 of 5 down. I mean, that's just how well this game is going, isn't it? You can start farming tier 2s at 17 minutes, can't you, right? And they just got their 5th one. 22 minutes in, and those are rather trivial to find as well these days, assuming you're actually hitting the creeps. Before it was a little bit of a crapshoot. Now it's pretty much guaranteed you get them, you know, after you clear the jungle once.
Exactly, it's a minute's work, 1.5.
So it's really just Felt having been focusing on other aspects of their gameplay, and for good reason, because they've now amassed a 14k net worth lead, but a good smoke out of the base here. They've got the Chronosphere ready to go. They don't even need it for the kill there onto the hard carry, but they're continuing to now lock down the base of Void. A Nightmare save here. Is that enough to get him out of dodge? It is for now, but he's going to look to turn Realm. He's going to throw up the Chronosphere, and that's going to be enough at least to get through Shinron. No, he doesn't have the confidence, so he's going to go down to the magic damage. Zor going to be the only core alive, as he still focuses now on the Steel Borko. Annihilate completely out of mana, so no hopes for him to rejoin the fight. So even with a nice initiation there onto the Templar Assassin, KPU still cannot make the team fight go their way for more than a couple of seconds.
I think this is good enough for them, though. I mean, the fact that Zor gets out and now gets to farm more is definitely a problem. Annihilate is just... You know what? I hope they don't check Roche here. He can't walk in deeper either, because he knows there's probably a trap in there.
Yeah. It's a nice little...
Don't breathe.
This spot on Roche is a little bit broken, because you can see into the pit, but they can't see you. I think it's still broken anyway. Yeah.
That hesitation there, man. Look at this. It's like, oh no, I'm dying. Oh no.
Yeah.
Just resign to your fate and take him down with you.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? As, of course, the Diabolic Edict explosions still continue, even if you have perished as a Lesh. Much like an Epicenter explosion, as Annihilate uses all of his mana to at least zip back to where the tier 2 used to be. It'll work, because Felt, they see a shinier fish, and that's Sunlight right now. Swarm's not going to catch him. There's still a toss to cancel the TP. And, well, with the magic damage here, there's going to be the Vessel debuff applied. Only the E-Blade here to try, the Ghost Scepter to try and save MMR Tours. But Sunlight is going to be taking another death here.
And this is where the Felt lineup really shines, right? In picking off isolated targets that are together. But anytime they get faced with this Chronosphere, I think, honestly, they need to properly bait out one of their cores. One of them just needs to say, fine, I'll tank it. I'll put myself out there in a way that will get that Chrono popped. Right now, though, they just looking to hit this base tower.
There's no Chrono, right? What's stopping?
20 more seconds.
What helps KVU this time around?
I don't think they're even looking to death.
Radiant's top barracks are under
That
attack.
looks like, again, the amount of push that Felts have. They don't even have the Lash on the high ground. Kind of recognize that he's a bit of a squishier target between Zor and... Oh, there he goes. Just between Zor and Solji alone, they will be able to get through the structures. It's going to be the first line of barracks cracked wide open. And with Roche possibly alive now, of course, Felt, they'll know the instant it's up thanks to the TA traps. Felt definitely feeling very confident. They will be fighting into a Chronosphere on this next engagement. Anything else that this Faceless Void has? No, he's gone for the Manta kits.
I was waiting to say it. I was like, okay, Storm has a BKB, surely Realm also has his BKB. It's the Manta style.
the fight.
He wants damage as well,
Top
right?
lane. Afro
Oh,
in
no.
trouble, but he's still got the kill into one, and now with the Orchid onto an island, they clear the beetle, it's going to allow him to jump away at the very least. Chrono is ready, Zor simply time lapses, and in fact, they've set up for a stun here, a short one at least onto Realm, but he does manage to dodge the earth, the split earth, and now a decent Chrono, which also catches his Tusk, is going to lead them to get a kill. Solji from outside Chrono almost gets through Realm. Templar Assassin as the Gleipnir from Zor coming into play here alongside his Orchid, picks up the kill onto the Warden. That's Chrono now committed. They're not going to have it up for this Roshan fight, which will be up in 45 seconds. And in fact, Felt, feeling bolstered by the lack of Chrono, might just look for a tier 3.
I would if I was them.
Little jump in now. Zor in a bit of trouble. Buyback committed though from the Lesh, and he's going to be boxing back into the mid-wave. Okay, this seems potentially a little scary. Feld still looking for the right kind of pick-off though. As Realm has he's gonna go straight. He's just leaving. He's got no business anymore trying to defend. As the Gleipnir now into plenty of damage for Sunlight. The stun's continuing to kind of do damage to him here. He does manage to escape barely. So the big zip in, but Afro's gonna catch him perfectly with the Avatos. They need another stun here. Yule Scepter's gonna set him up for one. Surely, right? Yes! No! Gets off the BKB! He's gonna live, but now doesn't have that tool. KBU just constantly throwing whatever they have in their tool belt to try and slow this push, Kibbs. But the push is relentless from Feltz. Down goes the tier 3 tower. Seems like these barracks will take not too much longer hereafter. As Afro, he is just
Hunt's
got his name. He's out here for Annihilate. It's terrifying to be a Storm Spirit.
Dire's bottom tower is
Yes,
under
especially
attack.
without the BKB. Like that was fresh. He's used it twice defensively now.
Radiant are scanning.
Oh, that's rough.
Dire's bottom tower is
And
under
now
attack.
he can just walk straight on into the Roshan pit. Maybe Afro's gonna find a DD here as well. In case Solji wants to pick that up after they come out. Yeah, he's just gonna babysit that.
Immortality.
Oh, an Aegis for the Lesh.
I like it.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
He's been spending basically his entire mana pool on most of these fights, and then if they don't get enough KBU heroes, they just, go back to the fountain, regen up, and then Shinra has been out of mana for a bunch of these follow-up fights, so, yeah. Frontline with him instead, die, come back with full.
Dire are
I
scanning.
can see it.
16k net worth lead. Who took the Ag Shard? Was it Lesh? Yes. So he takes both of the bounties from second Roche. This Split Earth Shard makes it very hard to push high ground if you're defending. I think it's going to make it very difficult for KBU to find the right kind of jump. Especially, again, without BKB on those faces. Void Kips. How does he hope to get into this
Radiant's middle
fight now?
barracks has fallen.
YOLO.
I guess so. I guess so.
Like, he's working on it now, but I think he'll have it for like the final fight into the game when he's already Megast or something like that.
That could happen. That is, of course, assuming that Felt don't get a couple of crucial pickoffs and just decide to force tier 4s. Because now that Solji has himself a BKB, he might he's got a BKB on his way and a DD rune in the bottle even. Go ahead and correct that. He's going to need to get rid of the Sage's Mask. This thing has proven very trusty for him, I suppose. There he goes. Goodbye, mana regeneration. Hello, double damager.
Excellent, and now you bait out the Chrono with this Lash. Hello, I have an Aegis. You want some of this?
Yep, Solji has BKB and, of course, Refraction to keep him topped up. Not quite level 25, but the Barracks aren't going to even make it till minute 25 as they have now been demolished in the mid lane. Felt, only one objective remains other than the throne, and that is going to be then the tier 3 bottom. 100 HP, 100% HP, rather, on this tower, as Felt will now start to put the works in. Not to make the jump now. Good Nightmare, but it still sets him up for more stuns. Snowball save is pretty good. He's going to at least save Realm for now, and he's going to maybe look for a Chrono to time walk in, but he is just ticking down. He's ticking away, and he's just died dead for an entire minute without buyback, Kips. no Chronosphere. They will at least get through the Lesh's first
Oh
life,
my
but it's
lord.
cost them 2 buybacks as Sunlight is cut through just as quick on his second life as he is on his first, as Borko keeps himself alive at the very least thanks to the Nightmare, but inside his fountain, he's not even going to be able to live. Zor using the
No.
vision from the Swarm to pick up the kill, and that is certainly Megas, if not just quite simply the game.
Radiant's bottom
It is. There's a buyback on his face. He's Void now. They might be baiting. No.
Jeez.
The Warden doesn't want to
They
anymore.
are not baiting Kips. That is going to be the series. Felts are going to win 2-0.
Yeah, very, very deservedly so as well. This game was, in many ways, just a masterclass. They, especially the way that they came out of that laning stage, Afromush, Man of the Match award, easily.
Yeah, really making the position 4 Tiny shine. I thought maybe it was going to be an off lane Tiny or you know, more typical of where we've been